Hello guys, Sarthak Pandey here, and welcome to this TyFlow crowd simulation tutorial. So I've seen a lot of people making this, like they're trying to make this crowd and they're having some problem. So I thought like doing a basic crowd simulation tutorial, and like later we will move on to like advanced stuff which can be done inside TyFlow. So like this. So what's happening over here is like I have like we are having some biped characters, and they are like running and colliding into each other, and they are falling and having all this rigid body effect. So yeah, so like you are already having one TyFlow example file for this. So what I'll do is I'll try to explain, like I'll try to set this whole thing up. So in TyFlow, like you have this one. It's like a great capability of TyFlow for making this crowd simulation, which is like you can see those stuff in a lot of movies and all, like World War Z, where zombies and all like they are running and getting on that wall effect kind of thing. So I think that was done with Mi and Golem and all. Like those are really advanced tools. So the approach of TyFlow is a little bit different. It's a particle driven system, so everything is getting converted into particle system, and then later things are happening. All right, so you can download this file so that you will get this animation of this biped character. Okay, so what we need to do first is like to get this animation into TyFlow, we will use a operator or like helper which is called TyActor. Okay, so what is TyActor? Like you can define it as like let's say this is like a hub or a house where you can import your animated characters, multiple animation files and all, and it will create like a link between that animation file or the animated character and TyFlow. I mean your event and all. So it will convert everything into particles. So then you can have you can have your desired effect, like breaking it or like making it rigid body and all. Okay. So yeah. So what I need to do, like what you need to do first is like when we made this TyActor, like we will have to import all of this this biped rig. So the thing is, like if you are looking for some dynamic effect, like if you are just doing some crowd simulation and you don't want like any like rigid body and all, like they are falling and all, if you don't want that, you can use any character, like just downloaded animation of running or like walking, and you are good to go. But like if you want some dynamic stuff, it's good to use these bones. So what happens is like these bones, they become individual object, and then we can create some linkage between them using physics bind. So they will become dynamic, and all of the all the body parts will move, they will twist and turn and all. Okay, so I'll select all of them. Like this is one bad thing in 3ds Max. I don't know why there's no option. Like I don't know if there's option, like if there is any option, please tell me in the comments, because I think to import multiple stuff you need to do this, like select everything, like when when it's biped or some rigged character. All right, so now we have got this thing into our TyActor. What we need to do is like I'll go into my TyFlow, open my editor, and I'll add a birth operator. Okay, so I will add a position icon, and I'll create a new icon. I mean this will be like the starting point of our like simulation or crowd or whatever you have say. Okay, so I'll just like for starting I'll just make one character, and I'll do all the dynamic stuff, and then we will move on. All right, so yeah, I'll just scale this up because there will be many characters which will spawn over here. Okay, yeah, so what I need to, like, basically if we are not doing this actor stuff, what we need to do is we will add a shape or bird shape operator and import this thing. But right now we are dealing with something which is animated, and also we want to maintain a dynamic relationship between the object and TyFlow itself. Because yeah, if I explain you, like, TyFlow is a particle system, so everything gets converted into uh, like particle, obviously. So like if you are doing something in let's say Houdini or maybe Blender, so what happens there, because they are having their inbuilt system, so everything works on the geometry level, so you can directly get the animation from the geometry and just use it. But here we are converting everything into particle, so we need to have a link between 3ds Max or and TyFlow, yeah, because it's a plugin. All right, I mean, that's how it works. Okay, so so what we need to do is, like, we'll need to add an actor, and we will just choose this Ty actor. Okay, so you can already see we have these points, so we will just see them as geometry. Okay, so if you see right now, nothing will happen, obviously, because um, we haven't like told TyFlow to use any animation cycles or anything. So what we need to do is, if you go into this like Ty actor and this animation sequence, so click on add, and if you see our like for how many frames this is animated, so it's like 16 frames. After 16 frames this is stopping, and you can have multiple animation just stored in one biped character and all, and you can use it to blend between those multiple animation and do a lot of things. Okay, so we will add a new sequence and we will call it run. So this name is very important because this is like an attribute which is getting stored, and you can later import it into TyFlow. And start is 0 and end is like 16. All right, so what need to be done next is, like, I'll add a actor animation. So here we will import the animation. So how we need to, like, this is really cool. So just copy this, make sure whatever you have typed over here, run, you need to put it over here. And like, I mean, I think there's like, it just doesn't get like updated automatically, so just import your Ty actor again, and you will see we have this animation over here right away. All right, okay, so yeah, we have got this. Now, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay, so yeah, obviously now we have our animation. So like, it's just ending in 16 frames. So what you can do is, like, you can just click on loop, so it's going to loop forever unless you want it to stop. Okay, yeah, so let's say, like, yeah, okay, so if you go into your actor, make sure the test true is set to like rig particles, so because this is a rig geometry. And if it's like non-rigged or some actor thing, like, I'm I'm still getting the hold of this thing. I haven't used it extensively, so maybe I might be wrong. Okay, so yeah, so as you can see, let's say I want to make it dynamic. Like, yeah, we will make this guy run and fall and everything, but first what I want to do is, like, yeah, maybe I'll hide this first. Okay, so I want to see, like, when I'll make this thing dynamic, how it's going to behave. All right, so okay, so if I add a physics, let's see what will happen. Okay, so it's going to fall, obviously, and it's going to break. So you can see, like, every box is working as a individual object. Okay, so we don't want that, obviously, so we will add a physics bind, so like, in order to hold them together, and make sure this physics bind is always below your physics shape. Okay, yeah, so now it's going to fall like a ragdoll. All right, okay, so what I'll do is I'll set this to joint, because glue is like a permanent, like it's a permanent kind of joint which doesn't moves. Okay, so if you set it to joint, like rigid joint, it will have some motion and all, and you can define how much motion you want by, like, this is spring is like the dampening of that effect, like the stiffness of the spring. So if you decrease it, it's going to be more. Or you can just turn this off and not have any movement. These are like, I'll be doing a tutorial on physics shape later and all. Okay, so yeah, so right away we are getting this thing, and I think it's fine. Also, what you can do is, like, if you go into band breaking, you can even set this to like break if there's a lot of force, and just increase this force, so it might break over some part. Like, put it to 5. Okay, well, we don't want that, so okay. Alright, so for right now I will, what's happening is, like, if you want, this is how TyFlow, like the actor thing will work. If you if you want these things to become dynamic, you need to put everything over here, like in the actor, because everything is getting converted into particles, and we are testing true for Rick particles. So if you apply a physics shape, the physics shape is going to get applied on the like every particle itself, and if you apply it over here, like it won't work. Okay, so yeah, right now we just have this thing, our running animation. So what I'll do is, like, I'll give it a I'll give it a path, so it can move along that path. Okay, so I'll just use a spline, sorry, line, and yeah, I'll just make a simple path, and I'll add a path follow. So like everything is like same, everything will work like as usual, like how you work in TyFlow, using all these operators and everything. And I'll pick this sorry, and I'll pick this path. Okay, so if we see right now, it's going to like go in some weird motion. So the first thing that I need to do is, like, I will turn off my spin, and in the attraction, like, I'll set it to maybe 2, and for follow, let's say 2. Okay, so right now it's like very fast. So what I'll do is, like, I'll just add a slow operator, and I'll set it to like 25. So you really need to make sure, like, if your the walking or running animation is matching with your this guy. Obviously, also you have this animation playback speed, which you can you have this multiply speed by velocity. So if you have more velocity, the animation is going to get multiplied with it, so it won't look like something is doing a moonwalk or something like that. Okay, so that's a good thing. Like, we won't be going over that, like, we will be going over that on next tutorials. Right now we'll just see the basic stuff. All right, so one thing, you can see, like, it's sliding. So what we need to do is, like, I'll add a rotation, and I'll set the rotation to, let's say, travel direction. Okay, so yeah, it will just flip everything. So if you just set it once, like, if you tell it what's the right direction, so it's going to every time it's going to follow that direction. So maybe it will be minus 180. All right, so yeah, so if we play this, yeah, okay, so we are having one of our guy who's running for something. Okay, so one thing that you can do is, like, if you go into this path follow, so what I'll do is, like, I'll add this multiple spline. Why I'm calling this spline? It's line. Yeah, multiple lines, and make sure you go into your path follow, and uncheck this lock to the first closest shape. So it's going to, like, all our crowd, they are going to have they will follow these random lines, and they won't just stick to, like, the first one. So I'll just okay, so if I play it right now, and maybe I'll set them to 10. Okay, yeah, in the, like, follow, just increase the variation to 100%, and not like maybe 25%. And sorry, I forgot to add these lines. Okay, so you will see, like, some of them are going to follow this line, and some of them will follow that line. And yeah, in the attraction you can set it to like increase this, and even with the follow, so you will get some variation. Okay, so yeah, let's say like we will have I'll just increase this 200 and increase them to like 50. So on every frame we will have some of them running. Okay, so right now one thing is like they all are getting too close with each other. So to fix that, what you can do is like you know you can add a particle physics over here. So what I'll do is like yeah, I mean, let's first go to that. Like I'll just put it to 0 and just one character. Okay, so like I don't want him to get become a physics body right away. So what I'll do is like I'll do a time test over here, and let's say after maybe 100 frames, and maybe 10% variation, 10 frames variation, sorry. And after 10 frames I'm going to convert him into like a physics shape. Okay, okay, yeah. So after 100 frames it's going to just fall. So yeah, one thing again that you need to do is like what's happening right now is like I mean, this is something inside TyFlow and TyActor stuff. Like when you use like cloth or this actor stuff, everything gets separated into multiple events, and they are not coming back into the same event. So what's happening is it's going crazy. So what you need to do is like if you go over here and add a actor collect, so it's going to collect like as it says, like if you go over here. So the actor collect operator allows you to collect element of an actor that have been spread out into separate events back into the current event. So like all the rigged particles, like the all of the individual particles will be now in the the same event. I mean, yeah, that's just how it works. And make sure to set it to like collect rig and not the actor stuff. So now when it's going to fall, hopefully, yeah, we won't see any weird movement and all. Like if you shut this off, it's going to break. Yeah, because like see, some of those particles were in this event and some of them are in this event. So like this is just how it works. It's like it's like a kind of a bug fixer, or you can say something like that. Okay, so yeah, you will see it's going to come over here and it's going to fall. It's becoming dynamic. Okay, so if I like let's say if I add a particle physics operator over here, let's see if I add it over here, particle physics. Yeah, it might not work. Okay, so I'll add it over here, obviously. Okay, so if I turn on this draw collision shapes and just set it like the collision radius, I'll put it to absolute radius and maybe let's say 50. No, it will be too big. 25 or maybe 15. Okay, so what is this? This is like now what will happen is when these guys will be born, they won't just collide into each other. So if I turn this off and set it to 100 and maybe 50, okay, so you will see like they will just collapse into each other sometimes. As you can see over here, they're just intersecting into each other. So if I turn this on, hopefully they'll maintain some distance to from each other and they will have that. Okay, oops, I'll just turn this off and I'll set my animation to set it away from real time. Okay, so you can see like they are falling and like they are just dying away. Okay, so yeah, you can increase their speed and do like whatever you want. Like you can have a box rotating around over here, and when they are coming close to it, they are getting killed off. Like for this tutorial, my main aim was to like just explain how this tie actor and crowd stuff in TyFlow works, and how can you make it dynamic. And like in the later tutorial, like I'll be doing some little bit more advanced stuff. Okay, so let's say I just you know I animate this box, and okay, so I'll add a physics collision, and I'll add this box. Okay, so now they are going to collide with this box because they all are they all are dynamic. Yeah, obviously the ones which are dynamic only, they will collide. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this tutorial. And if you have like any like request or any suggestion or maybe any doubt, you can just ask me. And yeah, in the later tutorial we are going to do like more complex crowd animation, like you know that's just how it goes. Okay, thank you, thanks for watching.